Okay, we're going to be learning 3 new theorems today. As you can see, the first one is the Arc Addition Postulate. We have talked about the segment addition postulate, we've talked about angle addition postulate, and we've talked about area addition postulate, and they're all the same. Do you remember any of those postulates? When we did the area addition one, what did we do? You're doing it right now in the cafeteria. Took certain pieces and we did what? Add them together gets the whole thing. That's what we did in all of those. Segment addition, we took pieces of the segments and added them together. In angles, we did the same thing. So that is the arc addition postulate. The measure of an arc formed by 2 adjacent arcs, remember side by side, is the sum of the measures of its 2 arcs. So our formula, then, is that the whole thing, B here, or ADB, the measure of ADB with an arc over it, is equal to the measure of its smaller pieces, AD plus DB. We kind of did that yesterday in the work. We just didn't realize that it was a postulate. So that piece added together with this piece is equal to the entire arc. We're going to use that to solve the problem to the right there. Alright, so if I slide this over, put arcs over these letters, it's kind of hard to find that, to draw that there. We know that the whole thing is 87, and we know that this piece is 12, and we're actually talking about arc length. This is not degrees. We don't 100% know how to find all measures of arc length today, but we can at least add them and subtract them and find them. And we need to find this piece. So the whole thing is 87. We don't know AD, but we know that DB is 12. So how are we going to find AD? 87 minus 12 is AD. 75. Okay, so the measure of AD is 75. Because we actually had 87 equals measure of AD plus 12. So we just subtracted if you need a formula. Some people like a formula, some people do not. There's the arc addition postulate. Alright, the next one we're going to focus on is more of the one that will take some time that we focus on a little bit more. So let's look at the inscribed angle theorem. We talked about an inscribed angle yesterday. The inscribed angle is an angle whose center is on the circle. The inscribed angle is the angle whose center is on the circle. The theorem says that the measure of an inscribed angle, so the measure of this angle, is equal to half of its intercepted arc. So the measure of angle ADB is equal to half the measure of its arc, AB. So this inscribed angle is equal to half of the arc. This is a very clean picture. There is one inscribed angle. Most of the time, you never see one inscribed angle. You normally see a whole jumble of them, which you're about to see in this example that we have. Therefore, from now on, I'm going to use the exact same highlighter to highlight the inscribed angle and the arc that goes with it. Makes it easier to see. So, this example says we are supposed to find DE, the arc, BD, the arc, and the measure of DAB and the measure of ADE. We are going to start, obviously, with the first one, which says find the measure of DE. So the measure of DE, the arc. I'm going to do all of that work with a pink highlighter. I'm going to start by highlighting DE, the arc. I need its inscribed angle. Its inscribed angle is 54, and I know that because it directly connects to DE. So its inscribed angle is 54. That means that the arc is what compared to 54? It is twice, is double. Because it works both ways. Not only is the inscribed angle half, but the arc is twice the inscribed angle. Works either way. Okay, what is 2 times 54? Alright, next I need to find arc D, arc BD. Since there are only 2 letters, it is the minor arc, so it's less than 180. Here's BD. And I know that DE is 108. So how am I going to find BD? 108 plus what? And that is? That's the Arc Addition Postulate. Okay. Grab another color. Let's find the measure of DAB. I'm happy dabbing's not a thing anymore. Because everybody would have said, oh, yeah. Oh. Thank you. Alright. The measure of angle DAB. Yeah, so here's what goes with DA. Here's DAB. Its arc is what we just found. The arc of DAB is 126. This is 126. What is this inscribed angle compared to that? So it's half of 126. Yes, you can. So, yeah, it is 63. So he said, can we also just do 18 and a half, which is 9, and add 9 and 54? Is that the same as 63? Yeah, so you can do either way. There's a ton of different ways to do these. Alright, last, let's find the measure of ADE. I'm doing this in green. Mine looks like yellow, but it's green. I need to throw it away. It's really bad looking. I need ADE. I need the arc of this whole thing right here. is this? The diameter, which means what is this? It is 180 degrees. What is the arc compared to the outside here? 1/2. 1/2 of 180 is how many? Could we find this missing piece? We could. 180 minus 108. It is possible, because there's 360 degrees in a circle, to find everything. There's a lot of stuff that you can find. Alright, last we've got the inscribed angle of a diameter theorem. We actually just figured out that theorem in this last step here. This was an inscribed angle with a diameter. What was its measure? That's the theorem. So let's look at that. The endpoints of a diameter lie on an inscribed angle if and only if the inscribed angle is a right angle. So that's what we just figured out. Since this is the diameter and we have an inscribed angle and the diameter here, since this is 180 degrees, it's half, which is 90. Therefore, every time you see a diameter and an inscribed angle, it's 90 degrees. Yep, if I drew it right there, it's still 90 degrees. If I drew it right there, it's still 90 degrees. Every time, no matter what. Actually, there's a computer program I can show you real quick that actually does it. I'll show you that while you're looking in a minute. Alright, therefore, I've got a diameter, I have an inscribed angle. What should 15a be equal to? So we need to solve for a. Pretty simple solving. What am I going to do? And I'm going to get, that's what I'm going for. Today's work is going to be a mixture of this stuff we just learned and stuff we learned yesterday. You need to glue this in on page 123. I need to make sure. Is that right, 123? Okay, 123 is labeled 15.1. Central and inscribed angles. And glue that to 123. When you're done gluing that in, your assignment is on page 786. You're doing 1 through 19, but you have half a class to finish it.